See anything yet?
Just a bunch of high-class, low-life criminals all cleaned up for prom. And no sign from Sullivan yet.
Well, there's still plenty of time.
The Sony-owned game developer Naughty Dog is known for pushing PlayStation hardware above and beyond what any gamer is used to, and Uncharted 4 is no exception. Uncharted 4 is Nathan Drake's final bow to the long-running adventures over the past 5 games. Uncharted 4 gives nostalgic nods and in-game collectibles that connect previous adventures and salutes past franchises, reminding you why you love the developer Naughty Dog so much. Uncharted 4 is a perfect balance of versatile gameplay, breathtaking graphics, and an immersive story, all resulting in blockbuster action film feel that leaves the player completely overcome with nostalgia and confounded with the journey he just took.
Know what I love about partying with a bunch of crooks?
What's that?
Nobody cares if you smoke indoors.
It's been a while.
Too long, boyo.
Uncharted 4 introduces the new character of Sam Drake, Nathan Drake's brother, who was once thought to be dead for 15 years and is now in dire need of help of paying off a debt. This turn of events forces Nathan Drake out of retirement from his normal life to once again become a fortune hunter, a life which he vowed to leave behind forever. Now, the two brothers, alongside with an old friend, Victor Sullivan, set out to find the pirate treasure of Henry Avery. This is an adventure the two boys have dreamt about since they were very little kids, and now they are setting out to get it. Naughty Dog understands what Uncharted is, giving you fun, action-packed cinematic experience where the story and character development matter, allowing you to get more in-depth understanding of characters and deeper context for the main hero, Nathan Drake. The story goes beyond the motives of finding treasure and the conflicts of relationships by using environmental storytelling, which is obviously inspired by the developer's last game, The Last of Us, which is all over this game, by the way, in the best possible way. As players progress through the story, they will find notes and letters of past explorers from the 1800s telling of their race to find the treasure of Henry Avery. The player even finds letters from the pirates and Avery Henry himself, mapping out the trials and tribulations of what the Dream City Libertalia had. These missable notes add to the story in a very, very important way, making the pirates themselves characters, creating the illusion that the player not only knows these dead pirates like they are friends, but that they actually live the past of these pirates. Uncharted 4 takes you through an array of emotions while pulling on your nostalgic heart, reminding you why you love the franchise so much. Gameplay is king, and Uncharted 4 understands this better than anybody. The gameplay drives the narrative of the story forward, never making for dull moments and tired tactics. Fun and fluid with a wide variety of guns that change your strategy up just enough to keep you entertained and on your toes. Uncharted 4 isn't the most revolutionary third-person shooter I've ever seen, or even the most mechanically impressive, but it is a very competent and sound third-person shooter. Naughty Dog has switched up the Uncharted gameplay formula in Uncharted 4, making it more open world, where players can take multiple routes to where the game is taking you. No longer just a climb the yellow cliff and very on-the-nose traversal, which really opens up the game. Uncharted 4 is a fair game. No death feels like it was a cheap one, forcing players to switch up their strategy the next time around. This is possible because how Naughty Dog designed environments and AI, allowing you to mix in stealth combat and run and gun tactics. Overall, the combat is solid and diverse, mixing in puzzles and stealth, which switches up the formula just enough to keep you entertained. Uncharted 4 doesn't come without its faults though. Countless times the players will be waiting for help and assistance in getting up a ledge, or even venturing off by themselves to find a rolling box to help you get up the ledge to progress the story. These parts are dry and break the immersion. I can only hear Nathan Drake say so many times, "You think there's another way around?" Uncharted 4 is oddly aware of these faults. I even heard one of the characters say, "We have to do this again?" The third time I had to get a crate to help Drake up the ledge. Another minor annoyance was the removal of the throwback tactic for grenades. It was in previous games, why not in Uncharted 4? Making grenades more deadly and annoying, I had to put the controller down a couple times while playing on crushing, due to the intensity and frequency that grenades were thrown at me. This missing feature allows for no one safe place, consistently having the player move from different cover points, allowing for very frustrating deaths by grenade.
But how did you get out? When did you get out? How'd you even get here? Find me?
All right. Slow down.
Hey, have a seat.
I want to hear about you.
Huh? Me?
Yeah.
What's to tell?
Well, call some of your old contacts. Tell me some pretty crazy-ass stories.
Uncharted 4 is what it's like to play a feature film. The game is immersive and stunning, a complete masterpiece that makes you question if you're playing a game or watching a blockbuster adventure movie. Uncharted 4 is the most realistic looking, beautiful game on any platform, even beating out Star Wars Battlefront. Uncharted 4 seemingly transitions from in-game animation to cutscenes to such a degree that players can't even really tell the difference. There were several times where a cutscene would end and gameplay would begin, and I would be standing there, not realizing the scene was over. From the rainy jungles of Madagascar to the rolling hills of Ireland, you can tell Naughty Dog cares about the detail. Whether it's shooting a pile of gravel and watching it accumulate into a landslide, little things like watching animals run across the map and scurry up trees as characters approach. Take the game to above and beyond what any developer has ever done and achieved graphically. Ultimately, the visuals of the game help immerse you in the entire world and story of Uncharted 4. The crowning jewel of the Uncharted franchise has always been its story. Indiana Jones meets video games. Naughty Dog has taken us on several adventures over the years, a total of 5. Through these games, developer Naughty Dog has taken across the world in search of fabled treasures, from the lost city of El Dorado, from Arama the Pillars, the desert city of gold. Players have watched the dynamic between characters grow as the games have progressed, so they will appreciate Uncharted 4's subtle nods and references to past games. For those who are not familiar with the previous Uncharted games, Uncharted 4 does a nice job of letting players know what has happened on past adventures. So how does Uncharted 4 stack up against the legendary heists and adventures of the past? It doesn't match up. It exceeds the past games. The game has a nice balance between old characters that we have come to know and love, and new ones that you get to build a relationship with as the game goes on. Uncharted 4 is a masterclass of storytelling, by the likes we have never seen before in games, making characters human-like. The acting is top tier, whether it's the way Nate looks at Elena when she isn't looking, or the way the characters interact and talk to each other while you are traveling across the eye-popping map. Uncharted 4's story gives a level of depth and emotion that it made me feel like I was watching a movie. Even during the gameplay, Uncharted 4 takes players on a roller coaster of emotions. The special thing about Uncharted 4 is that the players are never told what the characters are feeling. It is always shown through emotion, performance, and storytelling. An example of this can be found in the way Nathan and Sam interact, with snarky comments and humorous back and forth, like two brothers would. It is also found in the discontent Nate has for his desk job, and the longing feeling he has for Elena. Although, from the start it is inherent there are some pacing issues, and luckily this is only a problem in the beginning of the game. The first 4 to 5 chapters are pretty much only cutscenes, which isn't bad because Uncharted is all about the story. This is only a problem when you are in those chapters, and by the end of the game, players will have completely forgot about the pacing issues in the beginning of the game.
You look restless. Ow! Heads up!
Multiplayer throws out story completely in favor of all-out action, running around a map, jumping from roof to roof, blowing away other players with an RPG. Multiplayer offers money for each down, KO, revive, and treasure collected, allowing players to buy special abilities usable in-game such as mystics, sidekicks, and heavy weaponry. Mystics allow players to use supernatural elements from past Uncharted games to affect the enemy team or help your current team. Along with mystics, sidekicks, and heavy weapons can be bought with the money you earn while fighting foes. Sidekicks are just computer AI that you can spawn to help rack up downs or help revive surrounding down teammates. Heavy weapons are one-shot, one-kill type weapons. Any player can buy to aid them in the battlefield. Overall, multiplayer is fun. but it gets repetitive and boring fast. I don't see much potential to hold an audience here. Multiplayer is probably the weakest part of Uncharted 4. Finding myself in maps I just played 3 times in a row, repeating the same boring combat loop due to the lack of strategy it takes to play online.
Done. Okay. Oh.
Finish it?
Yeah.
Oh.
You know, it's probably too long and full of typos, but that's what editors are for, right? God, I'm starving.
It looks good.
Mm-hmm. Joe, how was your day?
What?
Hmm?
Got none of that.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. How was your day?
Oh, it was fine.
Mm-hmm.
Typical day in paradise.
Mm-hmm.
I got to pull a bunch of garbage out of a river. Yes.
At least you got to go for a swim.
With all components put together, Uncharted 4 is a masterpiece, one that won't come very often in gaming. Naughty Dog remains to be the pinnacle of developers, and Uncharted 4 is the pinnacle of games. I've never seen a developer be able to deliver a story that takes you into a world and makes you feel part of the story like Naughty Dog did in Uncharted 4. Combat is fluid and a joy to do, never feeling like a chore and always advancing the plot. The story gives depth to characters, making you want more, but nicely wrapping up an era of the action-packed treasure hunting series. Giving an ending and closure that's satisfying and rare to see in any kind of entertainment today, even including movies. Uncharted 4 will be looked back at as one of the all-time greats, alongside the original BioShock and The Last of Us. Uncharted 4 is a work of art and shows why games can be a great platform to tell a story. Naughty Dog has outdone themselves once again, showing people why they are the world's best developer. Uncharted 4 is a must-buy for anyone who enjoys games or even an immersive story. I'm Mike Doherty, and this is Chiptooth Gaming.